Hey guys, what's going on? It's Talk for Us TV. We are live. We are here. We are talking about the massive Steve Cooper transformation that has happened at the club. I mean, where we were 3 weeks ago under Chris Hughton, would have gone in today against Cardiff thinking, oh, what will happen with Forest and all that. We would have been questioning things, but since Steve Cooper came in, massive difference. We won against Huddersfield. We won like we did, and we won quite easily. So it's one of them ones where I think, wow, what's what a massive difference it is, and I do think that. I'll post the link into the thing. So if you do want to talk, come on and talk. The link's is in the chat. Exclusive Luke's in. You Reds, Bubble, Joe, hi. I hope you're well, Joe. But obviously the transformation for Forest. The games that we had in the last week or so against Swansea. And Barnsley, especially if we would have gone 1-0 down, we probably would have struggled to get back into it, especially with under Chris Hughton. But Steve Cooper seemed to have installed some confidence into the team. It is a lot more better, and that we all seem to be a lot more. There's a lot more team spirit, which is quite nice, and I do feel that it does help the club. We have got Mr. Turton. Evening.
Morning.
Yeah, he's actually smiling today, which is quite funny because normally you expect a rant, but Luke actually looked quite happy today.
Oh, I'm absolutely happy today.
Well, I was only saying about the transformation that has happened within this past, well, I say week or so. Cooper didn't come in to that Tuesday, but the last 3 games just been, we seem to got Forest back. So I don't know how you feel about
it. It's amazing what happens when you get a team that actually wants to be going forward, going a bit further forward, and looking like they actually want to play for the shirt. You've got people like Jed Spence going all the way forward, about 54 minutes gone, and scoring a goal. Under Chris Hughton, he'd have probably been told to get back and defend, and don't you dare go over the halfway line. So, the license to go forward, the confidence that is now breeding. Somebody has reignited Lewis Grabban. And I'd just like to point out that maybe Yates and Colback does work if you go forward.
That was one of the things that I did think to with Colback and Yates when I see team sheet yesterday. I thought, oh, you're actually trying it. It might just trying it just to see what options he can have, and it seemed to pay off yesterday.
You see, the thing is, it's like I was saying the last R&W show. If you get the players playing the balls forward, which is probably what they naturally want to do, get the ball, play it forward, and they're going to look better players than if you tell them to do something unnatural, which is keep going back, do not go forward, service what we've already got. No, go forward, score goals. And past 2 games, we've scored 3 goals each, so, they obviously want to do it that way.
We would have took the 2-1 under Luton, but for us to actually go for that 3rd goal, just been quite refreshing.
Well, yesterday, I think if you'd have scored 2 goals under Hughton in a shut-up shop instantly, you'd have probably had Gaetan Bong come on for something like a Johnson. But, Cooper's like, no, let's get 3rd. I think we're trying to go for a 4th. I honestly feel like at this point in time, we could come up against any side at some point and score 5.
I mean, thinking first time scored 3 goals in a game since 2017, and first time we scored back-to-back away goals away from home since 2015. So just go to show how long it has been.
It does, and I think that's the main thing. We haven't scored enough goals in games for quite some time. And then you come in with Cooper, you get the first one was the 1-1, then you get a 3-1 with 3-0. I mean, he's instantly, with the space of a week, turned a squad that didn't look like they were going to do anything effectively whatsoever into a team that really wants to score goals.
Mm. Oh, definitely. I mean, the only thing I've noticed was the passion at the end. I mean, fair enough, most of the weekends you probably get the odd player clap, but it seemed to be like everyone's clapping and everyone appreciating the fans again, which past year or so you wouldn't have got that. I mean, bar COVID, but last start of the season, you wouldn't have got that.
When was the last manager that actually looked like they wanted to be here? Like, they all go on about, oh, it's a big club, blah, blah, blah. But Steve Cooper looks like he actually kind of said, well, yeah, I'm lucky to be here. I'm a kid in this sweet shop. I, I want to do it right for the fans. And it's like, he comes out of things like we have to be better at set pieces. What was it he said? Oh yeah, in midweek, he came out and said, it's only a good 3 points if you go and back it up. I mean, some of the things that he's saying are like, well, yeah, that's exactly what we were saying, what fans were saying after games. But the manager comes out and turns out his usual kind of spiel. This guy sees it exactly like the fans see it.
Mm. We had an LGP saying callback look class. I mean, you wouldn't have seen that coming a while back, saying that Colback probably wouldn't have got back into this team under Newton. I mean, it seemed to be a change side. Yeah, fair enough, it's one game, but everyone seemed to be looking at Colback in a positive way again, where they're not used to be doing it before.
But again, Ryan Yates summed it up after the game. They're 10, 15 yards further forward because they've got a back three. So they're 15 yards further forward, which means Zinkernagel, Johnson, and Graben are 15 yards further forward, which means the whole side's intent is to go further forward.
Mm.
If you're sitting on top of each other, you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Give each other space, push up a bit, and then you score goals. We're going to come unstuck at some point, and we're probably going to concede 3 or 4. But at the end of the day, if you're winning games like we are doing, then even if you go 1-0 down, you don't feel like you'll instantly then you've lost the game.
Yeah.
Whereas under Houghton, as soon as you went 1-0 down, it was, oh, okay, that's that game done then.
Yeah, definitely.
And the whole comparison between the two is total polar opposites. You literally look, and now you're like, okay, well, we concede. Well, there's a chance now we'll go and score. And we can do it both ways. We can come back from behind, but we can also score first and win.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much about this team, this squad, this now management that is so aligned. I mean, I think Steve Cooper, when he was looking at Forest, thinking, well, they've got XYZ player in the first team. They've also got about 15 or 20 kids they could put in already. It's what I'm thinking. If I can stick it out for at least a year, then Christ, I'm gonna have one of the best kind of young squads in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Lawson, Swan, and Dale Taylor, which I think could all be in the first team in a year's time.
And Osan as well.
Osong, I'm a bit kind of that about at the minute because I feel like he needs to go up a level.
Mm.
But I mean, they're in the under 23s at the minute are really pushing the door as an already successful first team. I mean, people going, "Oh, we don't have the squad, we don't have the players." That's utter rubbish. They've proved that in the last 3 games. I mean, okay, Millwall was a draw, but that was a physical game, and we stuck at it. And it was Cooper's first game. Now he's got 2 weeks ish to really work on stuff before Blackpool.
Yeah, Blackpool will be another interesting game anyway because they are another baby team for Forest. I mean, it has been years since we played them, but I mean, one of the things I noticed with Cooper is using the strength of the attack we do have. I mean, you got Martin with pace, you got Johnson with pace, Ronaldo got that flair. I mean, then you see got Joe Dolly and to come into that as well, and as Bubble Joe said it in the chat, Silver. So it's quite frightening to say the least.
Well, we've got the pieces. That was never the issue. We got, and if you didn't have the piece kind of straight away, you've still got Yeda to come in. You've still got Draga to come in. I mean, you're looking at our squad and you're thinking, you've just got to go forward. Because if you play like they are doing to Johnson, Mighton, Brabham, Lolly, Zinkernagel, Silver, then you've got Colback, Garner, Yates to a degree now. I mean, they are forward-thinking players. The youth team, they're all forward-thinking players. That's why they conceded against Burnley, because they wanted a second goal. So the whole ethos has to be attack, attack, attack. And then, if you concede a goal, you concede a goal. You learn from it. But no way is Steve Cooper a defensive manager.
I think
like some Swansea fans are saying.
Yeah, I think he's proven that with but like I was thinking about this last night actually. Like with how Cooper was at Swansea, fair enough, he might not have the players to feeling like he is at the minute with Forest, where fair enough they give us a bit of a thrashing in the FA Cup, but they don't really have that sort of squad that we have. So I do feel like that he probably played today's one like he is twice at the minute.
The thing is, at Swansea, they were selling all their players. They were getting rid of all the best players because they needed to make money. If we sold a player like Johnson, one, we'd probably get 20 mil, but also you've probably got an ideal replacement in the academy.
Yeah.
We don't run out of players. That's the thing. We are a pool of players. And then if we don't have a specific player in our squad already, in our youth academy already, then we scout a player using analysis. I mean, for the first time in ages, we have made signings and they actually make sense. Yeah. Jed Spence, Max Lowe, Zinkernagel. I mean, James Garner's still got to step up a bit. You've not seen much of Sandy Silva. You've not seen anything of that Brazilian. The Paraguayans played an academy game now, and apparently it looks brilliant. You've got my mind's gone blank now.
Yeah, well, it's talking for itself at the minute as well with that team. Yeah, fair enough, you can probably call the back six at the minute with the Samba, then the back three, then the wing backs. I mean, you still got Mube who's injured, you still got Rodri who can come in and play centre off. So that back line, I mean, it's near enough says it for itself.
The thing is, most of the players, you know what you're going to get anyway from these players because you've seen it all the time. Now, everybody that's followed this channel for as long as I've been on knows that I've not been a great advocate of Yates. I've not been a great advocate of Graben or Colback.
we know Colback.
But that was in the system. In the system and the way that you played under those managers, it didn't work. And I was right. It didn't work. Graben was ineffective. Yates was ineffective. Colback was ineffective. Flip it on its head. In this system, they are effective because they're further forward. If you adapt to the squad strengths, then yeah, it works. You play to each player's strengths. You manage. All these things Cooper in about a week has done that other managers have failed to do.
Oh, absolutely. Bubble Joe did ask Rick Sicilian and Rodrigo. OGP said Ronaldo is just insane. Martin is fast. Burning is good. So, I mean, there's. Pardon?
Yes, I think Zinchenko, I wouldn't go as far as insane. I just think he's got that more experienced kind of Cavallo-esque type player. Because Cavallo is another one that we've not really seen a lot of again. Johnson, I mean, Michael Appleton's clearly spotted something at Lincoln when putting him out wide because since we've done it, he's looked exactly the same. Martin, I mean, he's nearly done 50 caps already for us, or appearances, and he's only 19. That's insane.
Yeah. That's the thing that you can't see Carvalho getting into this team, especially with our attacking Arsenal, unless if we do change the system to affiliate him. But then even then, who would you drop?
You see, the season's a long season, and you're going to have to rotate at some point.
Yeah.
But you can't be doing it in training. Otherwise, you'd be getting on the pitch in games as a sub. He's on the bench, and he's still not being used. I just think, to be honest, we're going better than Carvalho.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But it does make you think completely. So it is. I mean, the positive vibes as well. It is quite nice. Do keep your comments coming in, guys, because the chat seems to be fair enough. It's the same people, but it is quite chatty today.
I wonder why. I wonder why it's chatty, Dan.
Yeah. And Luke got a smile on his face, which it very rarely seen a smile on his face on this channel because it's normally Luke's like a time bomb just waiting to explode. So
yeah, well, if you don't give me things to complain about, then I'm all happy, aren't I? If you do things that are glaringly obvious and people aren't working it out, then you just keep pointing it out till it gets through to some people. I mean, You just got to look at how we're playing now compared to how we were playing before. I mean, it's a glaringly obvious comparison of polar opposites.
Yeah. Bubble Joe saying Eli needs to play in front of Fades. But then, would you want to change that back for you at a minute? Especially first clean sheet on the season as well.
Isn't the second clean sheet because then we get one against Huddersfield?
Yeah, second actually.
But the thing is,
there's that back three, so that 2 clean sheets in what 4 games or 5 games.
the thing is, what you're saying here is play an unknown ahead of somebody that you know is going to probably make a couple of mistakes a season, and name me a player that doesn't give away a penalty in a back line or make a mistake. It happens. It's football, and in the grand scheme of things, Figueiredo so far hasn't done a lot wrong. He gave away a penalty, but again, that's football. Across the season, we'll come up against a side where we get a penalty, but a glaringly obvious error by a defensive player. It happens. You can't eradicate mistakes, otherwise every game would finish 0-0.
Yeah. LJP saying, I think Figueiredo worked so much better in middle or back three, whereas Houghton tried him on the right side of centre backs, but in the middle he has cover. That is the fair shout to a fair, because obviously I think that they know that Figueiredo with his height, he's probably not the most mobility out of the field then, but I mean, even last week against Millwall, I adapted with Matt Smith, especially in that centre half. Matt Smith didn't even have a look at him.
But again, Figueiredo, the head it and kick it defender. But if you get 2 players either side, like a Worrell and a McKenna, then all he's got to do is slide the ball across, and then you've got an out ball. I mean, I think Samba needs a mention because although his distribution's not great at the minute, I think he's playing himself into some sort of form.
Yeah, I mean, he come back from, well, he started the season a bit shaky, but he gone from that being shaky to being like a rule beater again, like he was in his first season.
We've gone from conceding a goal every single game to conceding 2 goals across 4 games. And that is the after Houghton effect.
Yeah.
And we keep banging on about it. Chris Houghton was not a great manager for our club. And Steve Cooper already has united everybody. Well, apart from this select few people that still don't want to believe he's a decent addition to our club.
Yeah. Well, we get that everywhere, so one of them ones. But yeah, I mean, I forgot what I'm saying now. Man's gone completely blank, as per usual. But I do think the positivity just there to see, and I mean, I forgot what I'm saying. I'm just mumbling to myself now.
Yeah, you just got to look at it and think, well, we're finally winning games, so you just got to ride with it and just know that at some point we are going to lose. It's going to happen. It's football. Don't go absolutely hysterical when we lose, because we are showing signs of progression. And this is the kind of what I was saying before. If you see signs of progress, the fans will stick with it. if you're just stagnating and doing repetitive things one after the other, that's when the fans turn. Because most fans are realistic and understand that you're not going to win every game. You're not going to get a point every game. You're going to go periods where it gets tough. But it's what you do during those periods.
Yeah. And when we do lose or we do go through a sticky patch, that's where you know that you're going to find yourself trying to prove yourself. And depending on Cooper, I mean, if he sticks to his A game and just keeps on doing the right things, or he changes just to try and stop us losing.
Well, here's the thing. If, I don't know, you could see, if you go up against a side that has, I don't know, like West Brom, for example, and their quality wins a game, then at the end of the day, you just stand there and just go, well, you know, it's West Brom. They have quality. Yes, we have quality too, but they've been a Premier League team a lot quicker than we have. At the end of the day, we're still chasing something we were chasing for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I just think that we have now got the best chance in a long time of actually mounting a push.
Yeah.
I mean, we're 7 points off the playoffs already. I mean, this league is crazy. It's still technically all bunched up. So anybody that's going, we just need to get as many points to stay up. No, we just try and take each game and just see where it lands us. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we're around the top half.
Yeah, I do completely agree with that one, to be fair.
Because you've still got November, December, and then a January transfer window. So, I mean, yes, okay, they give Houghton a little bit more time than they did Lamucci, but at the same time, the majority of the season's still there.
Yeah.
So, why not the trying dream?
Yeah. Completely agree with that one. Any last remarks, Mr. Turton?
We've got our Forest back.
Yeah. We got our Forest back. 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 Now you're gonna believe me. The words are going up. The words are going up. The words are going up. Now you're gonna believe me. Now you're gonna believe me. Now you're gonna believe me. The words are going up. Confidence back. So that's it. Thank you for coming on.
No worries, always a pleasure, Dan.
Do drop a like onto the channel. Do subscribe. And that's it. Thank you for watching, guys, and goodbye.